Thanks very much for staying with us. Now, climate change remains a key challenge globally, and more so in developing economies such as Kenya. But the Commonwealth has plans for Kenya in, among other areas, climate change, innovation and investments. For insights into this and more, Nina Shaban spoke to the Commonwealth Secretary-General Patricia Scotland. Here is that interview.
We are having a sit-down with the Secretary-General of the Commonwealth, that is Patricia Scotland, and while it is quite an honour to be having a sit-down with you, I'd like to start our conversation with climate change risk has become an issue globally actually, and more so in developing countries such as Kenya. So how has the Commonwealth positioned itself to ensure that sustainability remains at the heart of its undertaking?
Well, as you know, the Commonwealth was basically the first organization of countries who identified climate change as an existential threat for the whole world. That was back in 1989 when the Commonwealth heads of government leaders came together in Malaysia, in Langkawi, and they absolutely identified this. So that was 3 years before the first COP, before the first IPCC analysis. And right the way through, the Commonwealth has been focused on climate because of the impact it had on all of our member states. We have 56 countries in the Commonwealth. 33 of them are small states. 25 of them are small island states. And the impact of climate, with the rising sea levels, with the changes that have happened, means that many of our member states have been devastated. Look at what is happening in Kenya here today, the horrible floods, the fact that people are dying. This threat is not just a threat, it is now omnipresent. It is here with us today. And therefore, the Commonwealth has been absolutely focused on how do we address that. And that comes with innovation, because if you think about it, human genius got us into this mess. If it wasn't for the Industrial Revolution, the greenhouse gases wouldn't have been created in the way. So now, it's really going to be dependent on the same human genius to get us out again. So innovation is absolutely critical for what we have to do. So we in the Commonwealth have been working on how do we pool that innovation from across the Commonwealth, bring it together so that we can have hard, concrete deliverables. And this is going to be incredibly important, and particularly important in the terms of the new technological era in which we live.
What strategic investment does the Commonwealth have to ensure that there are strong linkages to foster innovation in markets such as Kenya?
Well, Kenya has been totally focused on generating a greater degree of energy, green energy, geothermal energy. I think is more than 47% now. 96% almost, I think, of all energy created in Kenya is green. And we are supporting those elements by working together with our countries. So, for example, in the Commonwealth, we've created the Climate Finance Access Hub by placing finance advisors in our member states to enable them to make real successful applications to the Green Fund and other funds. With just about $7.8 million, we've already delivered more than $316 million to the Commonwealth, and we have $500 million in the pipeline. But we're also looking at how we can take advantage of the new technology. So we have created also a consortium, an AI consortium, with people like NVIDIA and Google and Ericsson and many other countries and opportunities and experts in those countries across our Commonwealth to bridge the digital divide that is now growing between the global north and the Global South. And through this AI consortium, we're already coming up with some really great ideas. So for example, the President Ruto has just made the commitment to plant billions of trees. Now that planting will hugely assist us in bringing down the greenhouse gases, but it also has an opportunity to create an income, because we have now, with Planet Lab, identified that there's a possibility that you could clearly calculate how much each tree is absorbing by virtue of carbon, and that carbon capture can then be monetized so we can have a real carbon market, not a guesstimate but an accurate assessment as to how much sequestration of carbon is happening. So this opportunity to gain revenue for looking after our climate and looking after our land is critical. But there's so much that we're doing with the Blue Charter, the Living Lands Charter, the geospatial data that we're taking advantage of in terms of common sensing. There's so many things, and Kenya has been intimately engaged in it. But thankfully, so has the other 55 countries. And it's the power that we have coming together as a family of nations which is going to make the difference.
With 56 member countries, how is the Commonwealth ensuring that there is information across the board?
Well, we have had regular meetings. We're going to have a meeting here today, bringing together, and tomorrow and during this week, bringing together all our countries, the ministers who are responsible for innovation, for ICT, so that we can pool that knowledge and expertise. But we're also have the Innovation Awards, so we are looking at those who are doing dynamic new things, and we're highlighting the opportunities for them, rewarding them, and as a result we're showcasing what experts and brilliant people within our Commonwealth can actually do. And in addition to that, we've created an innovation incubator so that those with ideas can be assisted to facilitate those ideas and grow them in a way that will be really instrumental in delivering change. And we're about to launch something that we're calling Commonwealth Genius, which is looking at the geospatial data that we have in all of our countries, bringing those experts together so they can share knowledge, can share expertise, but most importantly, they can look at some of the problems that we jointly face and come up with real hard-edged solutions, so that by binding together, coming together, we can really be the difference we need to make sure that we save our planet, that we deliver the Sustainable Development Goals, and we really are a force for good, the common good.
How can the Commonwealth amplify the achievements that have been made when it comes to matters innovation in the member countries?
Well, what we've done is we're pooling the knowledge and we're coming up with implementation toolkits. And everything that we do in any of our countries, we are sharing it. So we hope that what is happening is the Commonwealth Secretariat is becoming the partner of choice for many of our countries, whether we're looking at things on the governance issues. We've created SMART, which is a new method by which you can manage your performance management system, so making sure that you've got the Sustainable Development Goals. But then we've looked at what we need to do on trade. With trade, we know that there's about a 21% advantage in Commonwealth countries trading with each other. At the moment, there is $721 billion worth of intra-Commonwealth trade. We would like to grow that to $1 trillion by 2026, but $2 trillion by 2030. A lot of that will be green trade, blue trade. So the innovations that we are building will help us to accelerate that. You know that we've got the African continental free trade area. So making sure the modalities which are existing now are easier, faster, cheaper for us to trade with one another. It's one of the fundamental things that we are going to do. But we know that digital trade has been the lifeblood of a number of our countries now to get us out of the consequences of COVID. You'll see that if you look at the $721 billion of intra-Commonwealth trade, more than 140 billion of that intra-Commonwealth trade was digital trade. Digital trade driven by women and by young people. And as a result, when we looked at those figures, we thought, why is that growing so quickly? And the reason was that there is trust between our member states. We have the same legal structure, the same language, the same institutions, the same parliamentary system. That gives us a level of confidence between ourselves that enables us to have the trust to engage virtually through the digital trade. So